Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. It appears that Gus is approaching the end of the road. When a prominent American banker, the chief executive officer of a major financial institution, calls for the end today's video, we will go deeper into the topic at hand. If you think this is going to be fun, then hit that like button. Now, from out of the ordinary wells, here is the first item to look at. It is time for investors to cash out, according to Jim Cramer. This is the prudent course of action to take at this time. Can you believe this guy's stock or cryptocurrency is about to have a major rally? But you don't pocket the gains before it all goes downhill again. Am I correct? That's the cost of missed opportunities. Profits are clearly not a terrible thing. Of course, you guys understand. Why? Because it's a windfall. Therefore, it is always a good idea to cash out. However, Jim Cramer is now making this statement. I see. Quite intriguing. So, it seems like individuals are acting somewhat aggressively in the business world. You people are being ridiculously bullish. Generational buying opportunities are being considered. Am I correct? The CEOs don't appear to be against Jim Cramer, which is strange because I know a lot of people are. Still, record high stock dives among CEOs. Why? This is Facebook, the mechanism for insider trading notifications on Meta. Oh, sure. Mark Zuckerberg, chair and chief executive officer of Facebook, has sold 59,000 shares worth $22.9 million, continuing his rapid dive from Meta. At this point, he had made almost $500 million from the sale of his company's shares. He is now simply selling his own stock, $500,000, dude. Holy cow. I've been holding shares worth it since November. In all, how many bunkers are there? My God, that is really ridiculous. Guys, it's not like it hasn't been there all along. The date on which that is based is November 23rd. Okay, people, it's December, January, 3 months away. Roughly speaking, 3 months? My God, that is really ridiculous. Stunning, isn't it? I mean, just look at this relentless barrage of sales. You made a sale on January 24th, by the way. Once again, absolutely. 22 million vehicles. His previous sales figures were 1 million vehicles, followed by 1 million, 1 million, and 1 million. During the current month of January, his sales have been just mind-blowing. Approximately 7 million people are located offshore. That is rather interesting. What makes them think they need to sell? Why? It would be mind-boggling if the CEO were to sell gauze as well as everyone else. Am I correct? Some people could be dubious of that. If it's just before the collapse, then they're likely selling at these prices, aren't they? With time and effort, yes. I hope that doesn't raise any red flags, people. Since it is insider trading if they do it just before the crash happens. People are aware of the SEC guys, they need to be probed. I see. So long as they sold in advance, gradually, not out of any urgency, but because they are clinically aware of what's coming to the US, they should be fine, right? They're all set. Therefore, it is imperative that we pay close attention to these salesmen, particularly the CEOs. It is clear that they are in the damn know why. Well, Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed's hedge fund, was indeed at Jeff Bezos's party before the 2020 event. Just a few months prior to that happening, you guys. What advice would you give Jeff Bezos while he was there? Probably not a natural salesperson, but I do think you guys would find this intriguing. I thought we had a little more time before the collapse, didn't we? As a result, crypto stock will soar to unprecedented heights and do all sorts of other crazy things. We are simply waiting for cryptocurrencies now that the stock market has already created all-time highs. Good news, guys, they're behind schedule. That means we might witness new all-time highs, not financial vice, from Chad in the next few months, if not this year. This is the reason, my friends, why we need to all right, I'm here to sound the alarm, should we? Look what occurred here. Even if you developed or generated so much profit, it's not financially prudent. My love, is it possible to withdraw at this time alone due to the sudden suspension of trade in the US without prior notice? Make sure you guys are prepared with several exchanges. Why? You do know that when things go very well, they don't go like this, do you? They are short on time and won't give you a chance to sell. You all know how it goes, right? It's lightning quick. Am I correct? Guys, reaching the peak doesn't take years. Tops of blow-off happen in a flash. Weeks, at the latest. Time, my friend. Months, not weeks. Well, that's the deal. You should be prepared to withdraw from a number of different exchanges. No, you're off ramps too, Gus, just in case. You need to be ready if we're approaching the point when the collapse is imminent. In this day and age, it's impossible to be ready, is it? It is imperative that you plan ahead. Have a practice run with a little sum of money, and while you're at it, take out $10 or so from each trade. That should be enough to get a feel for the process. In order for you to be aware of the current situation. Whether you're attempting to cash out in the heat of the moment or going to panic, that's how you know things work, guys. Am I correct? There has been volatility. The prices have soared. Everyone is advising you to remain indoors, so there will be a lot of noise. You should prepare in advance. For what reason, then? Why? Because we're about to answer the biggest call ever heard by humanity, the one from your guru. He made the pointing motion toward a Justin, referencing what Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, has said about the modern economy, that it is hurtling towards a precipice. Behold, those individuals who assert this. Even more intriguing is the fact that Jamie Dimon, who despises Bitcoin, is suddenly predicting its demise. Why? The NACS economy, which he is describing, is plunging headfirst over a precipice as it keeps melting. Thus, the amount of debt is increasing, isn't it? Because after this, what happens? The cliff is already here. Hey, this isn't going anywhere, is it? And eventually tumbling to the ground. Except when it falls, there won't be anybody or anything to save you. What exactly does that imply? Just as quickly as it rose, didn't it? It generally follows the same trajectory and will fall harder. And much as in Rome, the United States will fall at that moment. I see. Take a look at this, though. We have now received confirmation that the collapse is close to Gaza. For those who are still keeping track. Very well. Wow, just look at that. The ACS government went into debt for $47 billion yesterday. It continues to rise at an exponential rate. I see. Next thing he knows, he's taken on $47 billion in debt in the span of a single day. An increase of $47 billion has been reported. Very well. Here we have the problem, rescued by the chief executive officer of the largest bank in the United States, JP Morgan. The ceiling issue was resolved in June 2023. The whole NAC sum is $3 trillion higher. Am I correct? Since the debt limit crisis concluded on June 23, take a look at that. The aggregate debt of the US has increased by $3 trillion, folks. That is in the absence of any significant catastrophe. Envision this year that a cyber attack, the demise of Bank of America, or the signing of us by a bank are all examples of black swan events. Am I correct? Something about a conflict, an impending disaster, or a black swan, is correct. Can you tell me what you believe will happen? More money will be printed by them. $20 billion, everyone. Am I correct? As a result, it's completely unacceptable. The worst aspect over the next 33 to 40 days, and ACS, is that the government has borrowed $10 billion every day since October 1st, that AC. You all know the ceiling is almost uncapped, so it might go up to infinity, right? No limit. We might see the government debt reach an astounding $37 trillion this year, or even more, if we can maintain borrowing at our present rates. It's mind-boggling. There could be 50 trillion gods that we perceive. Who can say for sure? Nothing urgent has happened here. Provide aid to those countries who are struggling economically and otherwise. On God's side. Much material. In other words, we're heading towards a collapse if we continue printing for the men. Customers aren't sure how they'll pay their bills now that the holidays are gone, despite a 14% year-over-year increase in online shopping, no quotes available. The debt will be eliminated in some way, according to Mr. Poole, although the translation, credit card debt has broken the bank for many Americans. Very much so. I see. We need to exercise extreme caution, people, since the default is on the horizon. Is it just me, or is it the JP Morgan CEO and his team? I see. Among all the bears, Jamie Dimon is the largest. At first glance, it appears as I don't think so. To put it another way, he's like getting everyone ready. I find that really captivating. Why? Just take a look at this. Dimon Jamie. Am I correct? Who is advocating the dissolution of the debt? Why? Because it's becoming really intense. Andreas is on the verge of plunging down the precipice. Now he's even threatening the nation's banking sector with cyber attacks. Dude, it is really ridiculous. I see. In this case, he is demanding a great deal. However, as it keeps piling up, the US economy is hurtling towards a precipice. After that, we had what he describes as a cyber attack. His use of the cyber assault narrative card is really maddening, so he decides to phone us. Fascinating, just like Ken said, something will happen to send the system crashing down. Is the B2B3 in the cards? I hope that's not the case. However, I have my doubts about the veracity of the claim that a worldwide cyber attack is impossible. While it might not be as bad as Web3. Why? Reason being, that is what Schwab stated. Even if he thought 2020 was terrible, he added, this would be far worse for humanity and the planet. And that is really stupid. Isn't it mind-boggling to consider men? Because this implies that all services will be temporarily unavailable. You all know about the transportation and the hospitals, don't you? You won't get any results. Here is a statistic that proves a collapse, recession, depression, right-hand decline, or price plunging is imminent. The growth of the S&P 500 is above 5,000%. Is it 70, guys? After accounting for inflation, it's only up 500%. Well, that's really crazy. Holy cow. Get inflated. This is the reason why stock market investing is not for you, dudes. Am I correct? How about significantly outpacing inflation? Who needs to know when you have cryptus? The Dow Jones chart is this, and I wanted you folks to know it. Here we are, smack dab in the middle of a bull cycle that has lasted over a century. Am I correct? Could it be this section? Yes. Who are these guys? They look like bears. During the Great Depression, it occurred. The general trend, however, has been going up. My God, that is really ridiculous. I thought that was how Warren Buffett became rich, wasn't it? All he has done is ride the tide to ever-increasing trends. At various instances, what does that tell you, guys? The Dow Jones index of stocks must plunge to record lows, and so it ends. The potential for a new financial system to emerge will arise when something changes. This is not a recommendation for managing your money. This $300 billion billionaire even goes so far as to imply that a reset is on the way, people. All my visitors are young people who are looking to start their own businesses or become investors, therefore I would want to turn the tables and ask every successful individual I've ever met for advice. The first thing I want to mention is that you have witnessed several market fluctuations, including some of the most devastating collapses ever recorded. Are you of the belief that another market crisis is imminent? Well, if I knew Greg Trowbridge, there would be no turning back, otherwise, there would be wrecks. On the last day, there will be no return class, so let's get ready for that. However, I think we should start by pumping up the natural pace. From here, things will get pretty crazy. The video ends there. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.